Help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. My wife left me on a Thursday evening, so quiet it felt unreal. She didn't slam doors or shout, she didn't even look torn. She simply lifted the 2 suitcases she'd packed beforehand, placed her wedding ring on the coffee table, and said the words that cracked something deep inside my chest. "I'm sorry, Adam. I love him. I have to go." Shock has a strange way of muting the world. I stood there, unable to speak, watching her walk out with the steady confidence of someone who had rehearsed the moment enough times that it no longer hurt to perform it. The door closed softly behind her, yet somehow it echoed like the loudest ending of my life. The first week after she left felt like fog pressed into the corners of my home. Every morning I stared at the empty side of the bed, at the untouched pillow beside me, and wondered if love truly had an expiration date. The silence became heavy, like furniture I couldn't move. I checked her social media once. Just once. There was a photo of her with him, smiling in a way she hadn't smiled with me in months. I closed it before it could finish breaking me. Friends told me I'd be fine. Family told me she didn't deserve me. But words like that didn't fill the hollow space in my chest. By the second week, I forced myself to live again. I cleaned the house. I donated half the things that reminded me of us. I bought a new couch, not out of need but because it symbolized a beginning I desperately needed. I started taking walks at sunset. Joined a fitness class at the community center, partly to get out of the house, partly to get out of my head. That's where I met Mia. She wasn't a whirlwind or a distraction. She didn't pry. She didn't flirt. She didn't even know I was drowning. She was simply kind. One afternoon after class, she asked if I wanted to join a group going for smoothies. My first instinct was no. My second was to say no louder. But something in me whispered that if I didn't take a step now, I might stay stuck forever. So I said yes. Mia listened when I talked and didn't judge when I admitted I was newly separated. She didn't dig for details or offer cliches. She just nodded and said, "That's hard. I'm glad you're still standing." Somehow those words meant more than anything anyone else had said in weeks. A month passed. 30 days since she walked out. I wasn't healed. Heartbreak never respects tidy timelines. But I was breathing again. I wasn't crying over her name. I wasn't replaying our last argument. I wasn't stalking her online. I wasn't blaming myself. I was moving forward, slowly, imperfectly, but forward. Then on a quiet Sunday morning she came back. I was making coffee when I heard a soft knock. Expecting a delivery, I opened the door without checking. And froze. There she was, my wife, or the woman who used to be my wife. Her hair was messy, her eyes swollen, her lips trembling. She looked nothing like the glowing woman who walked out a month ago. "Adam," she whispered, as if she wasn't sure she had permission to say my name anymore. I stepped aside. Not because I wanted to, but because cruelty isn't in my nature. She walked in slowly, her eyes scanning the space. The new couch, the changed decor, the absence of her belongings. "It looks different," she said. "It is," I replied. She swallowed hard. "Are you okay?" "I'm getting there." My calmness seemed to hurt her more than anger ever could. She sank into the armchair and buried her face in her hands. For a moment she didn't speak. She just breathed like someone trying not to fall apart. Then she said it. "I made a mistake, Adam." I didn't respond. Not out of spite, because I didn't know what she expected me to say. He wasn't who I thought he was. The fantasy disappeared. He treated me like a convenience, not a partner. "And you thought coming back here would fix that?" I asked. She winced. "No. I hoped there was still a place for me. That maybe you hadn't moved on. That maybe..." She stopped. Her eyes locked onto something behind me. Mia stepped into the living room holding 2 mugs. She had come earlier to help me choose new curtains, something that had turned into a running joke between us. She froze when she saw my wife. The room thickened with silence. My wife's face paled. Who is she?" "She's a friend," I said honestly. But the way Mia stood, the quiet steadiness in her posture, the way she held those 2 mugs, it all made something painfully clear. My wife was no longer the center of my world. Tears filled her eyes. "You replaced me already?" I shook my head. "You left. You made a choice." "I didn't replace you, I rebuilt myself." She began to cry, softly at first, then harder as the truth settled. The world hadn't paused for her return, and I hadn't stayed frozen waiting for her to reclaim the throne she had abandoned. "Can we talk?" she asked desperately. "Please, Adam. Just talk. I want to come home. I want us back." I looked at her, the woman I once loved, the woman who broke me, the woman who now wanted to undo her own choices. And I felt calm. "I don't hate you," I said gently. I don't wish you pain. But you walked out of this marriage. And I can't rewind the moment you let go. Her tears streamed. So that's it? You're choosing her? I'm choosing peace, I said. She just happens to be part of the life I'm building now. She glanced around the living room again. The couch she didn't choose, the walls she didn't decorate, the future she no longer fit into. I'm too late, she whispered. She walked to the door, paused, and looked back with quiet acceptance. I hope she treats you better than I did. She already does, I said softly. She nodded, opened the door, and stepped into a world that no longer included me. And for the first time since she left, I felt something like freedom. A new chapter had begun. And this time I wasn't reading it alone.